Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to part 8 of my gear analysis series where we look at every level 60 piece of gear. We have started by war gear, but for mix set. Most of the time we have ignored champion, but in today's video we are going to talk about champion. So today's going to be about the Dragon Talon. So far we've done the Bumble Helm, we've done the Firewall Plate, we've done Skull Crusher Winter Mitts Cups, we've also done the Blight Ring, and another one that we've done is the Storm Tasset. If you have watched the Storm Tasset, you will remember that I've said that the Storm Tasset is better than the Dragon Talon for a mix set as far as the stats, and we're gonna look also at the comparison. And you guys are gonna ask you're gonna ask me, why do I have the Dragon Talon in my mix set? And the reason for that is I'm a little bit cheap. I am somewhat close to a gold Dragon Talon. I need basically two gold glowing eyes to get this to gold, while my Storm Tasset is currently really standing at 0 out of 11. If I add everything else, it's still like a 10.5. So I will definitely, it's gonna take years for me to get the Storm Tasset because I'm not focused on that on this account. While I am gonna get the Dragon Talon. So why am I cheap? I'm free to play, and I'm too cheap to unjewel my Dragon Talon to rejewel my Storm Tasset, and then later on unjewel my Storm Tasset when I get my Dragon Talon to gold. I'd rather have those gems for something else. So this is why I'm keeping this. The difference is not big. So basically, let's get in the cabinet, because that's basically how you should analyze equipment. Obviously, we're talking about the legs or the boots. We're doing this from a free-to-play perspective, so this is why we're going to look at it at a purple grade. Most free-to-play with some sort of experience, couple of years of gameplay, will have their boots either at a blue or a purple grade. Obviously, there are some of older players or more efficient players will have their boots to gold, but it's really, we're talking about the range from blue to gold. I'm doing it at a purple grade because most of the equipment, when I started, I was at purple grade, and I'm assuming that you guys are going to be very close to purple, either at blue, and only a handful at gold. So, what do you need for Dragon Talon? This is something that is forged with glowing eyes. This comes from the Black Wings. Very easy monster to kills. You got a pretty good drop rate from the Black Wing chest. The problem is getting those chests when you're free to play. So otherwise, you can also get those eyes, I believe, from the login gifts, but I'm not super sure about that. So login gift would be right here. Let's see what I have. The rotation right now is a Gargantua eyes. But I'm not so sure that we can get those from the login gifts. You can get those mostly from the Labyrinth. There's one rotation where you have glowing eyes. So obviously, if you're looking for rare material, save your Holy Stars, not for the Frostwing, because you cannot get any rare materials. But every other week, you have a rotation where you have some rare materials. So look out for the ones where it is the glowing eyes. If you're looking to forge items from the Black Wing. So I'll leave it at that. I know some people for the Black Wing, they work on different things. If you're free to play, it's always better to focus your rares on one equipment. The Dragon Fist is not bad, the Dragon's Iris is not bad, but they are not the best in their slot. So, and same thing with the Dragon Talon, it's not the best in its slot. Now, if we're looking at it at a purple grade, the Dragon Talon, where is it? Oh, I need to click on something else. Yes. Dragon Talon gives you 13% infantry attack, 19% range attack, and 9.5 army HP. So that really means 27.5% total HP. We are going to disregard. For these analysis, we always disregard the siege. So you'll notice there's nothing for Cav in there, but when we're looking at a mix set, we're really looking at the total stats that an item that provides you. because you can always play with your stats, with your talents. You can balance your stats with your talents. So let's look at the comparison. Last time I said the Dragon Talon was slightly worse than the Storm Tasset. The Storm Tasset, for me, it's the best item it's the best non-champion item in the legs slot. So let's look at what we had last time when we did that. And there we go. So, this one. Yes. So, the Storm Tasset provides us basically with 38% attack at purple. So when we're looking at the same grade, the Storm Tasset is better. You get 6% more attack. You get 10% less HP. But that total defense, basically 13% army, equals really 39% total defense. Basically, my ratio that I use is about 1 to 10 for attack. So basically, that 39% defense is, let's say, equal on a ratio on a mix attack to about 4% attack. So that really means that we're looking at 42% attack. So 10% more attack for the Storm Tasset when you convert the defense, and 10% less HP. Sorry about that. Once again, HP is a little bit better. Attack is a little bit better than HP, especially on a mix set, because on a mix attack, because some of your troops, the HP that you boost might not be useful. If you counter an incoming attack, there's a very good chance that only your front line will, the HP boost will apply to your front line, and that's it, and the back line will not get it. There's a strong chance. Most of the time you'll have, let's say, a pack 5 hitting your back line, so at least the HP would only apply to two of your 3 lines, two of the three troops. So this is why attack is also a little bit better on a mix configuration. When we're talking about blast against blast, HP is a little bit better in that case. But still, Storm Tasset would beat a Dragon Talon in that case, head-to-head on at the same grade. As I've shown in the previous one, Dragon Talon is better if it is 1 grade above. Obviously, you need less rares for the Dragon Talon, but for Storm Tasset, we get those pearls. I mean, as far as I recall, we get some pearls from time to time in the bargain store, a little bit more than we get the glowing eyes. So I wouldn't say that getting pearls is easy. So at the end of the day, Dragon Talon requires less rares than the Storm Tasset when you look at the rare cost. As you can see, about 1 gold less at a purple grade. Now, I want to talk about an alternative here, and it's going to be about champions. So let's look at purple Dragon Talon compared to blue champion boots. And the reason why I chose the champion boots is because one thing you're going to notice with the Dragon Talon, it has range attack and infantry. The infantry is better than the Storm Tasset. So when you look at a blast, after looking at the mix, we're going to look at the blast for a range. So as far as purple Dragon Talon, you get 32% attack. This is slightly better than the champion boost. Champion boots will give you about 31%, and as far as the HP, you get a little bit more from the champion boots. But if you look at the rare cost, basically you need 0.4 gold. This is next to nothing. This is like a purple and a blue. This is Crimson Maze are not easy to get, but this is not a big cost. As a free-to-play player, the problem sometimes or often is the secondary on the champion boots, because you can only get them from the champion chest. But the champion boots are the piece of gear that requires the least amount of rare. So it's the way I see it is it's a pretty good piece of gear to build, because it's really better than the champion. Even 1 grade lower is better than both the Dragon Talon and I believe also the Storm Tasset, or about on par with the Storm Tasset. So at the same grade, obviously, it's better. And it's always better. It's always better, not only mixed, but on a blast, when we look at a blast. Speaking of blast, let's look at it at a range blast. So a purple Dragon Talon will give you 19% range attack compared to 22% from the champion boots. 22% is 18.8 plus 4 from the army. So obviously, army attack applies to all the stats. But when you look at a range, it's only an additional 4%. So obviously it's better. And same thing with HP, it's a little bit better. So when you look at that cost, the champion boots is a really good alternative. So whenever you see someone, free-to-play players, and they have like all purple or all gold, but their boots are champions and they're one grade lower, it's not a mistake. Those boots are pretty good. They're pretty good on a blast for range. They're pretty good on a mix setting. So if you're free to play and you have not decided what you're gonna do with your mains, the boots are pretty good. They also provide some travel speed, which if you forge that, you can simply bypass the Saber Fang boots for your travel speed set. Aside from that, as far as champion, every piece a champion also provides a utility stats. This one is travel speed. I personally use the one in the offense for the troop training. One of them is for research. You got the reduce upkeep. I think you got gold also. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing one. We can look at it, but as far as the legs, the champion boots are really good. Now let's go back in the, I don't have any more graph to show you guys, but if we look at the rest, so basically champion, you also, the stride, the champion greaves, and the boots. The reason why I looked at the boots was because it was ranged, but it's basically the same stats, except every piece, every boots at the champion has either infantry, cav or range, but on as far as the mix set, the same analysis goes. The champion greaves, boots, and stride provides the same stats, so they're all better at one grade lower than the Dragon Talon as well as the Storm Tasset. If we compare basically the Dragon Talon with the Gargantuan belt, just look at it basically at the same grade, you get more attack from the Dragon Talon, about 8%. You get 8% more. As far as the HP, you get 10% more from the Dragon Talon. The army defense, like I said, that 10% army defense equals about, let's say, 1% army attack, so that's 3% total attack. Still, at the same grade, the Dragon Talon is better. Now, if we look at a Gargantuan belt at gold grade, then that would be a little bit different. The total attack would be about 42% when you add in the army defense converted, and the HP would be about the same. So you get a little bit more attack from the Gargantuan belt. Like I said, it is a blast. It is really for a blast, a cav blast piece of gear. But if you have a gold belt and you have, let's say, a purple Dragon Talon, you could have the Gargantuan belt in your mix set and play with your talents to balance your stats. I'm not a big fan of that, but it's something that you can do. Another thing, I'm gonna talk about the Blizzard pens, but basically it's a really good piece of gear. As far as you're gonna get basically a lot more attack. Is it better than the Storm Tasset? Is it better than the Storm Tasset? You know what, guys? I don't know. I think it's about the same as the Storm Tasset. It's really hard to forge because those ambergris crystals are really hard to get. We've had them in the bargain store once, in the last bargain store. I don't know if they're going to be in the rotation from now on, but it is really hard to forge. Aside from that, one thing I noticed, the legs of the Deceiver that you can forge from the mutated brains. Once again, the Eldrider is probably one of the best set in the game. But the thing is, if you've watched my last video, the Skull Crusher is pretty good. The Burning Scroll is pretty good. Legs of the Deceiver, they're not that bad. But so thinking, it's only 2 rares. Obviously, we're going to want to look at it at gold. I believe, so basically 2 rares is the equivalent of 8. 2 gold is the equivalent of 8 purple. So basically it's about the same cost. It's not really, but it's roughly the same, right? I think there's 2 more grays that you need to pay for the Legs of the Deceiver compared to a purple Dragon Talon. I have not put on a I've not done a graph for this, but if we look at army attack, we're talking about 36 plus 5, so that's 41. That's a little bit better than the 32 from the Dragon Talon. But the thing is, there's no HP. So you're missing out on a bunch of HP. That 15% range defense probably is equal to 1.5% attack. So really, the Legs of the Deceiver for on an army setting, so on a mixed setting, even at gold would not be better than Dragon's Talon, so I would not suggest you guys do that. As far as the range blast, we're talking about 17% ranged attack, plus basically, like I said, about 1.5% attack from the range defense if we convert to a ratio of 1 to 10. Not that great. So that's 18% compared to 19% on the Dragon's Talon. And then there's also the army HP, which provides 9.5 to range. So on a range blast, the Dragon's Talon would be better. What other options is there? So I just want to show you guys. There's nothing else really. The stealthy steps from the Hootla is also not a good idea. I know a lot of people will talk about either for the Hootla, they're gonna talk about the offhand, the level 60, or the beastly armor. So on same thing basically at level 50, it's two rares, so that's about the same cost. If we're talking about a range blast. This would mean about like 18% range attack and 8% HP. Still not better than Dragon's Talon for a range blast. So basically, guys, there's really 3 pieces of gear you want to look at the legs. We looked at the Storm Tasset, which to me is the best in set. Dragon's Talon would be the second non-champion, but champion is a great piece of gear to have there with only 5 rares. Dragon's Talon is pretty good for a range blast. Once again, if you're free to play and you don't build the Dragon's Talon, and if you don't build the champion legs, Dragon's Talon is a very good alternative to Storm Tasset. It is. If you don't build a champion, definitely use that for your range blast. And even if you don't build a champion, there's a good chance that, like me, you have a situation in your mix set where you have more rares. You're gonna be getting this sooner to a better grade than the Storm Tasset, which, like I said, at gold, the Dragon's Talon is definitely better than a purple Storm Tasset. There's no two ways about that. Like I showed, I don't have any champion here. So for me, on this account, where this is really a range blast account mostly, even though I do have a proper mix set, this is a no-brainer. I could rearrange. I could pay up. This is like 14,000, and then I would need to pay up about 9,000 to rejewel. So 23,000 gems just to rejewel, and then I would need to rejewel again, which would be another 25,000 gems just for a little bit more attack and a little bit more stats, while this is still both at purple, which I don't want to do. So this is my reasoning behind that. Guys, let me know what you have in your mix set as far as the legs, and also let me know which of the next one you want me to talk about. We have yet to talk about the Frostwing Greatsword, even though every time I talk about the Skull Crushers, it seems that I talk about the Frostwing Greatsword. We have yet to talk about the Codex. So these, for the next one, let me know, guys, if you want me to go over the Codex or you want me to go over the Frostwing Greatsword. After that, we're definitely gonna start talking about the blast piece of gear. So we're talking about the cornet. The beast. Oh, we could do the beast down. It's not really a blast. It's not really a blast. There's also the beast down. Let me know if you guys want me to talk about the beast down next. But yes, after that we're gonna go with the blast. So their shield, the Hootla armor. We're gonna talk about the Gargantuan belt. We're gonna talk about what else? I don't think is there anything else here. Not really in the not really anything that's easily doable. And in the accessory, I don't know. We're gonna need to talk about some of the newer monsters also, where we have different piece of gear really harder to get. So guys, that's about it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what's your biggest challenge for your legs, what you're doing. Are you free to play? Are you pay to play? Are you light pay to play or full on big pay to play? Leave a comment, hit that like button, and guys, I'll see you in the next video.